Boom, you're on. Say hi to the
Hello,
world.
everybody. This is Xavier. I'm with MountainHours.com, and I'm here with my good friend Mark Yoder. Several of us today went to Mark's hearing where he took on Polk County Court, and I saw and witnessed the most incredible thing I couldn't imagine. This man was 15 feet in front of the judge saying, "Judge, I am here in front of you. Take notice." And the judge, he was invisible to the judge. The judge tells her assistant to call him on the phone when he's in front of him right here, and tells the deputy behind him to call out to him in the hallway. The deputy couldn't believe he was doing that. You should have seen the deputy's face. It was like he was like a little kid that was playing a game. The deputy goes outside, and I can hear in his voice. He was unbelievable. He's yelling, "Mark Yoder, Mark Yoder." He's in the courtroom yelling at the judge. "I'm in front of you, Judge. You're violating your oath of office, Judge. You came short of saying you're committing treason. You were very polite in not saying that, but that's what I was
He
witnessing."
just said, "Do you see me? Do you witness that I am here?" You know.
Yeah, he was there letting the judge know, "I am here."
So is this the alleged defendant that you referred to?
So that it was amazing for me to see that you're right in front of the judge, and the judge doesn't see you or acknowledge your existence, and everyone in the courtroom is uncomfortable. That deputy was uncomfortable by the whole thing. That deputy approached when the whole thing was ending. That deputy approached Mark and pointed to Mark to sign some papers, and the judge tells the deputy, "That's not Mr. Yoder," and he's right there. Everybody was in disbelief, myself included, but the judge acted that way. Mark, what happened? How did the judge not see you? And how did we get here? What brought all this on?
Was it the invisibility cloak, or how did they not see you?
How did all this happen, Mark? Can you please tell us everything you can about the situation? It's amazing.
I don't know if we have enough videotape or whatever to tell everything. A brief synopsis of how we got here, not to cover too much territory, but going back 100 plus years ago, Xavier, you have to understand that a corporation cannot deal with you or I. There's an 1883, I believe, Supreme Court ruling. It's Blundell v. Delaware and Riparian Canal Company. And in the Supreme Court ruling, there were 3 Supreme Court justices who all reached the same consensus, and that is that a corporation cannot sue or otherwise contend with a natural man or woman.
Okay.
So the way that they try to use trickery and deceive people these days, because obviously there's a precedent there where they can't deal with you or I, the real flesh and blood person. So they have to use deception and try to make us acquiesce or cop to being this corporate fictional character, your name in all capital letters. If you look at any phone bill, any electric bill, any credit card bill, on your mortgage statement, any of your papers, your name will always be spelled in strictly uppercase letters.
On the tombstone, it's in strictly uppercase letters also.
They probably don't care. But the fact is that denotes a corporation. In fact, in Delaware, a corporation's name not only has to be in all capital letters, a corporation has to have a middle name in Delaware. So, but in any event, this is just a little tip of the iceberg of how they've been deceiving the people for decades or centuries plus. Now, that's kind of a brief outline. And so what is necessary today in this day and age, whether it's a traffic ticket or a felony case or any time that you're dealing with a public servant, first and foremost, to establish to the courts and any public servant that you are the real flesh and blood, living, breathing person, you have to make a declaratory decree, and that's why I've done, and many people have done, what they call an affidavit of status. And there are many different variations of this document, but you can create your own. But basically, you're saying that I'm the living, breathing flesh and blood man or woman on the land, with all of your inherent, unlimited, inalienable constitutional rights protected. And you take it, and you of course you want to have it notarized. You're saying that you're not that artificial all capital letter name, that you're the upper lowercase letter only person. I'm sorry, not person to bad word. That you're the one of the people, because a person can also be denoted as a corporation too. So you never want to refer to yourself as a person. You're always one of the people. But anyway, so you get this document done, you take it down, and you have it recorded at your courthouse. Not filed. You want it recorded. Then you get several certified. You see your little recording number. It'll have the book and page number on there. And then you want to get many, many certified copies, because anytime that you deal with a public servant, you have to have this proof that you are real, one of the people. Okay?
A mortal man, mortal woman.
The natural man, natural
Because
woman.
without that
Like
piece
in
of
that
paper,
like in that-
God forbid.
Like in that court ruling, they cannot deal with a natural man or natural woman. Now you know that every state, every city, every municipality, heavens, if you can go to Cornell Law website and you look up the definition of the United States is a federal corporation. All of these cities, the counties, the township, they are corporations. And again,
Right.
according to this 1883 ruling, they can't mess with you in the flesh. So they have to try to trick you and make you admit to being the all capital letter name. So every time that you're in court and they call your name, Mr. Smith, Mr. Doe, and these poor people, they have no clue. They jump up and say, yes, I'm John Smith. Well, you just admitted to being the all capital letter name, and you gave them jurisdiction.
And they
over you,
verify,
and
they like, do you understand why you're here? As if
they
you.
own you. And when they ask you, do you understand? That's a good thing. You cannot possibly understand, because there are so many things going on. When you ask them, when the judge asks you, do you understand? By their definitions and their terms, they're asking if you agree.
To a
They say,
contract,
do you
yes?
understand the charges against you? You're saying, not only do I understand them, I agree to them. But again, this is the word magic and the trickery that they use. So anyway, today,
You were mentioning about the government agencies or corporations. You have a printout of Dun and Bradstreet.
they all are, and you can go to DunandBradstreet.com. And put in a search and put in your county court. For example, I have some documents here. I'm not going to put my fingers right on them, but it demonstrates that the 10th Judicial Circuit here in Polk County, as well as the state's attorney's office, both being located at 255 North Broadway Avenue, Bartow, Florida, 33830 or 33 whatever. In fact, for the state's attorney's office, it even signified the second floor. Dun and Bradstreet shows these entities as traded corporations. They're traded for a profit. So when you
On
and
Dun
I,
and Bradstreet.
on Dun and Bradstreet, and you can do it for your own county, city, your own courts. You all need to go there and do that. And you go into court with that documentation. And if you know someone that's a good, honest notary, they might even be willing to make a screenshot for you, and you can take that in there to the court and hold this up in front of the judge and say, but Judge, I've got a notary here who notarized that this is a true and correct copy from Dun and Bradstreet, showing where your court is a traded commodity, a traded corporation. And the corporation's for profit. So if I'm before a corporation and they're collecting fees off of me and fines and putting me in jail and collecting money from my bond, they're doing that to sustain themselves. So how can I consider this court a court of the people? How can I consider it possibly giving me a fair deal?
Sounds like a conflict of interest,
It is a
perhaps.
It's a
Right.
crime is what it is.
That's right.
But the people are beginning to wake up around this country, so that's a good thing, the ones that aren't afraid. So anyway, so I was standing before the judge today, and I would not, she called, she asked if Mark Allen Yoder was here, and I told her my name is Mark, and I'm of the family Yoder, a living, breathing, sovereign man on the land, one of the people, with and claiming all of my inherent, unlimited, constitutionally protected rights. And I'm here before you, and Javier said she refused to see me to the point of ludicrousness as
It was ludicrous.
having
It was
the bailiff go out
ludicrous.
in the hallway and call for me, and I'm clearly standing right there. We were here today. I had a motion to dismiss a criminal action against me, which is a frivolous lawsuit to begin with, as one of the people. And so I was here for that today, and that was the point of the hearing. And then also they were scheduled for a, what do you call that, a docket call. Because I'm supposed to be, I'm a named defendant in error of a case. So anyway, so she called me there for that, and I was here for my motion to dismiss. And I told the judge, I said, I am Mark Allen Yoder. It's written in that motion to dismiss, my name lawfully and properly spelled only in upper and lowercase letters. And you saw what happened. It's like from that point on, I
You
did not
didn't exist. He went and he became invisible to the judge. It was ludicrous, like he said, to the point of ludicrousy. And everybody in their courtroom was uncomfortable with how insane the judge was acting. The judge was acting insane.
You know, I just thought of something. Do you mind? I thought, when you're there and you're in the middle of this, did you ever think of saying, Your Honor, did
First of all, I
you,
would never refer
did,
to anybody as
I,
Your Honor.
I got it, or whatever, Judge, yo,
Except him.
did you make me swear to tell the truth? I am telling you the truth. You know, just like, anyway, whatever. Just a thought.
Obviously, they don't care about the truth.
I guess that doesn't have any merits in this court.
They don't have
There's
any.
no standing. I guess the truth has no standing or bearing in this court.
Yes. So the judge was no longer acknowledging me, even though I said the word something like, Judge, you and the assistant, you and prosecuting attorney here, or you and opposing counsel, have sworn an oath to support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, as amended in 1791, the Bill of Rights and the Constitution for the state of Florida. Is that correct? The judge refused to answer that question. At that moment, the judge perjured her oath of office and became disqualified from the hearing. I say this neglecting to reference the fact that earlier today, in fact, it has been verified now that as of 7:19 this morning, the judge was in receipt of and had taken delivery of a Title 42 action naming her as one of 16 co-defendants. So, and here is a complete copy of the form right here. And if you want to zoom in on this, you can get the case number. The case number is 12-14190 This is a Title 42 action filed in the Federal District Court of Florida. That's all right for the Southern District. Okay. And you can clearly see the judge I was in front of today was Judge Carla Foreman Wright here in Bartow, Florida. And this was the Assistant State's Attorney that is also a named defendant who ironically didn't bother to show up in court today. They sent a substitute for this Assistant State's Attorney.
Why do you think that was?
Because I don't know. Because the last substitute they put in for the judge, we proved on the record that she was acting without an oath of office and therefore committing felony perjury on the court and fraud upon the people and treason. Maybe that's why they couldn't get another judge to replace her. That's speculation.
Would that qualify as impersonating an officer?
I'm just saying. And as far as that goes, that was the judge that we were in front of on the 9th day of May. And here's a copy of her certified copy of her oath of office. And from the clerk of the Secretary of State, it clearly says, hereby certifies the attached a true and correct copy of the most recent oath of office on file for Judge Judith J. Flanders. This was the substitute judge for Judge Wright, the one I was in front of today, because back in the first part of this month she was absent for personal reasons. So as well as you see this oath of office, the most recent one being dated 9/19 of 2000, which is obviously expired and out of date. The only other thing which came from the Secretary of State's office in reference to this judge's expired oath was an expired commission issued by Jeb Bush when he was the governor of the state of Florida. This was issued in 2001 and expired in 2007.
Oh, hang on a second.
How long does the oath stand for? I think it's 2 years.
I believe the judges have to renew every 2 or every 4 years.
Until the first day of January.
That's when it was. He granted her the commission in January
Up through
of 2001 and expired the first day of January 2007.
All right, cool. And so what happened with that judge? What was the deal with that?
Well, I had witnesses, and the judge was disqualified. Of course, they never responded to that. We sent in multiple affidavits of people that were present that day to disqualify that judge. So what that means is when you disqualify that judge, anything that they ruled on that day is null and void. Of course, I received no response or no rebuttal to any of the affidavits that I filed into this case, or any of the paperwork, or the disqualification of the alleged judge or the imposter judge Flanders. So this is just a small tip of the iceberg. This is going on all over the country. We have senior judges posing as members of the judiciary without oaths of office in place, without the bonds necessary for them to be serving the public in place. If a judge will not honor their oath of office, they're immediately disqualified, because without a judge without a public servant acknowledging their oath of office, we can't be sure that our rights to the people will be protected.
They don't have any authority. They don't know.
They don't have, that's right, they